And we have a sure, steadfast hope in Christ. He says, you know what? He's the faithful witness, which means this. He didn't shrink back, and neither are you. You know what? He says, yeah, I was a faithful witness. I was the martyr unto death. But guess what? Death could not hold me. I was firstborn from the dead. Which means this. I love Acts 3. It says, it was not possible that he should be held by death. Not possible, which means can't touch this. I mean, you have no legal right. You have no legal right over me. It was not possible that he should be held by death. So he's faithful unto death. He broke the power of death. And then now he is the ruler over the kings of the earth. I love it. The Lord is imparting these realities. Guys, these are more than nice little cool phrases. These are oceans. These are divine fragments of divine revelation that will stabilize your spirit, man, that will bring peace to your soul during the small tremors in these days, but getting us ready for the big ones ahead. I love it because he gives us that threefold revelation, and then he says, guys, I didn't just do it alone. I've loved you. I've washed you, and I've made you a kingdom of priests. Which means this, yeah, I was faithful unto death. I broke the power of death, and now I'm now ruler, waiting till my enemies are made my footstool. And in the meanwhile, guess what I did? I loved you, I washed you, and guess what I did? I raised up a partner to join me in this. I raised up a bride to partner with me in this thing. I keep seeing this thing over and over again of the story of Adam in the garden, and the Lord seeing that there was not a helper comparable for Adam. The Lord puts him down. Such a picture of the cross, and he opens up his side. He takes the rib out of Adam, and he goes and he forms the woman, and then we see the Father presenting, we see the Lord presenting the bride, presenting Eve to Adam. Guys, I want to tell you, that's what's taken place over the last 2,000 years. The Lord's been preparing a bride for the Son. And we are going to see at the end of the age, during the greatest hour of human history, we're going to see a bride come forth and say, Jesus, you're not alone. There is a helper that's comparable with you, that's going to partner with you, and you're not alone in this thing. We are going to actually answer the desire of Jesus, actually answer the desire of the Father by being comparable. Everybody say comparable. Because when you look at him, you become like him. Comparable, which means this, you think the way he does. You live the way he does. You interact the way he does. There's that comparison, that union of the Spirit. Guys, it's coming forth. We are in the beginning and we're so weak and broken, but the Father has promised there will be a bride that will partner with you. You see it, Revelation 5. A bride come forth to partner with Jesus as he takes the scroll. You loved us, washed us, and made us a kingdom of priests. He made a partner. He's coming. I could just walk through each one of these phrases. I would encourage you to take time. Mike preached phenomenally last week on the Alpha and Omega. Jesus is Alpha and Omega. When Jesus' first words, guys, when we don't hear Jesus talk till verse 8, and his first words is, I'm Alpha and Omega, beginning and end, first and last. You need to really pay attention to that. These are the first words of Jesus in Revelation. And these are the things he's saying, which means this. I am from everlasting to everlasting, and all things in me consist. You have no fear. I am the beginning and the end. I am the first and the last. All things are from me, through me, and to me. You do not be afraid. He keeps hitting this issue of breaking the power of fear. We need eternity to enter back into the church. Do you know that? Do you know we need eternity to enter back into the church? So that we can say like Paul that things really become light afflictions. Because the sad thing is, really, things that are supposed to be light afflictions are actually crushing afflictions. And it's with the revelation of eternity that life is truly but a handbreadth. That we were made for eternity, that we will never die. And that what we really are doing in these days, they matter for forever. Jesus gives this self-description of who he is. It's brilliant. And I just want to finish up with the revelation of Jesus. I just want to look at this picture of Jesus. You see 30 different aspects of Jesus in Revelation 1. Verse 10. I think it's so ironic that John is in tribulation. He's on the island of Patmos. He's in exile. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice as of a trumpet. Verse 12. Then I turned. Everybody say, He turned. My goodness. I turned to see the voice that spoke with me, and having turned, I saw. Having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. Having turned, I saw. God is, through the prophetic Spirit, is sounding forth a voice in this hour, and He's looking for a turning of your life. No, I'm serious, because in Exodus 3, when I read this, I'm thinking Exodus 2 and 3 with the encounter of Moses and the burning bush. Just go ahead and turn real quickly. Hold me. You've got to see this. Who loves the Bible? Good. Because He just doesn't do anything on accident. You know that? We're going to hit this, and then we're going to give the revelation of Jesus, and we're going to pray for you. Oh, my goodness. Look at verse 2 of 3. Well, look at 3:1. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. He led the flock to the back of desert, came to Horeb, the mountain of God. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in the flame of fire from the midst of the bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Verse 3 and 4, look with this. Then Moses says, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush does not burn. So when the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, that's when God called to him. God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. You can go back to Revelation 1. Guys, there was something in the turning of Moses and the responding to the voice that God saw, and that God says, now I'm going to bring you to the next place. Now I'm going to bring you into commissioning. And the Lord is speaking this hour, and He's looking. Will you turn? Will you turn aside? Which means this, that in the midst of going this fast, that hearing the voice, can you begin to turn and to hear the voice of your shepherd and respond in the midst of all the demands of the people, in the midst of the religious machine, in the midst of all the things that are going on? Can we have the sensitivity to hear and to turn? Because it's in the turning that we get encountered. Verse 13, and in the midst, everybody say, in the midst. See, I can hang out with a verse like that all day, which means this. That's glorifying. Jesus is tender, but that's terrifying because Jesus is near. In the midst of the 7 lampstands, one like the Son of Man. I love it, His humanity. He says, guys, I'm with you. And He's clothed with a garment down to the feet, girded about the chest with a golden band. We see that the premier revelation in Revelation 1, the first description is our high priest. Our intercessor in the midst of the church, who is sympathizing, who is one with us. He's bone of our bone. He is one with us, which means this. We're not alone. The very power of the book of Hebrews is connecting them to their eternal high priest, who is one of them, to strengthen them to give themselves in the midst of persecution. The revelation of Jesus as your high priest and intercessor, guys, it is life transforming. Again, this is Pacific Ocean. Check it out sometime. I'm serious. He's clothed. Verse 14. He's brilliant. His head and hair white like wool, as white as snow. His brilliance, His leadership, His direction. He knows what He's doing. Everybody say He knows what He's doing. And His eyes like a flame of fire. He is dedicated. He is tender and He is zealous. Beloved, His eyes are set like doves. His eyes are fitly set on us. They cannot be turned away. And guys, you can sit before these burning eyes. The eyes that see the reaches of your heart, the inward cries, and the eyes that pierce through all the religious hoopla in your life. That pierce through all of your seeming reputation, and that burns up chaff. That burns up dead religion, that burns up dead works. His feet were like fine brass, as if refined in a furnace. It's the one who knows greatest judgment at Calvary, and the one who is prepared to release greatest judgment. His voice, His creative voice, as the sound of many waters. He had in His right hand 7 stars. Out of His mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. His countenance, everybody say countenance, was like the sun shining in its strength. And when I saw Him, I fell at his feet as dead.